Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is the War Train here. Do me a favor, if you're not already subscribed, think about subscribing to the channel, guys. I try to put gaming content out like this on a steady basis, and if you guys enjoy this video, do me a favor, please give it a thumbs up. Now with that said, today's video, I want to go over these arcade 1-up leaks from CES. Now someone from behind the scenes took some photos and put them all over the internet now. These things are everywhere and it is absolutely crazy. I had people commenting on my channel to me. I was actually playing a game with my son and I just got done releasing a new video, and all of a sudden I got a text and it was of a bunch of these pictures. These are the pictures that I got sent from my buddy Dan. So thanks, Dan. But that made me go on the comments, and then I understood what they were trying to tell me, that they were trying to tell me these were the new cabinets. So I had to get on here right away and make a video. It's crazy. There is some awesome stuff here. Now, if you look right in the back here, we got NBA Jam. So that is awesome. Let me zoom in here so you can get a better look. But right there in the back, there it is. Pull it to the middle. So NBA Jam. So all of you guys that were waiting for that cabinet, it's coming. It is coming. And that thing looks gorgeous. Wow. Now, right in the front, you can see Big Buck Hunter. So there it is, the first light gun game. I cannot wait. And man, I don't know where I'm going to be putting all these cabinets, because these things are awesome and I'm definitely going to be picking up more of these things. I mean, look at that. I just can't believe it. Finally, it's awesome. Absolutely awesome. Now you can see behind the Big Buck Hunter, there's Burger Time there with the cool side. You see the guy's hat kind of popping out, and man, that cabinet looks cool. It's definitely got a unique look to it, just because of that side panel there with the guy's hat. So that's awesome. Then you got this new Pac-Man machine behind that. Looks like it's sitting next to the older Pac-Man machine that's been out. Now this one looks awesome, and it looks like there's 6 games on it, and it looks to have a light up marquee. So does the NBA Jam and the Burger Time. So that is super cool. Now the Big Buck Hunter, who knows, because one, I imagine it costs more to make this because of the light guns and stuff. So I could see why it maybe wouldn't have any kind of lights. I don't even think the Big Buck Hunter cabinet did have a lighted marquee. I could be wrong about that, but regardless, they probably wouldn't light it up because that'd be extra cost. The cost is probably in the guns. Even though there's not a lot to them, but still, it's super cool. You got to be able to holster them in there. So extra milling and stuff, but absolutely awesome. That one's, that and the Burger Time are more customized, just because they're not as close to the other cabinets, because they're a bit different. Because of these things. But I almost wonder with the Buck Hunter where the speakers, you really can't get a great look at it. It doesn't really look like there's a whole lot of tilt in the screen there. It looks like everything's forward, but you would want that because of what type of game it is. So I don't know if they put the speakers up in maybe like behind a marquee or something, but we'll have to wait and see on that. Maybe they're actually in the control cabinet there, because you have all that basically space in there because you have the guns and just a couple buttons. So it's not like the other ones where you need all that space for the control decks. But I am excited, and this is not it. But first, I want to talk about this one all the way to the left on here. Now it looks to be, at first glance, just the top of it, it looks to be like the one behind me here, the Street Fighter 2, just the control deck with the black and gray kind of speckles. But no, I don't think so. First of all, that one had different buttons, red, white, and blue. This looks to be blue, red, and green. And it also says lower down, if I can, let's see, zoom back out here so we can get a better look at that. Now, it looks to say Marvel and Capcom. So I almost wonder if this is like Marvel versus Capcom. I'm not really sure, but it's interesting. It's definitely interesting, because Capcom in this time, like the 90s, where a lot of these arcades are coming from, especially the newer ones, the 90s had reigned supreme with Capcom. Capcom was killing it, absolutely killing it, with their just really great games. You know, they were great at making you know, this pixelated style of arcade game. It was just, there's some great titles that still hold up today. Really awesome. And let's move on, because I have 3 pictures here. So let's drop back to the actual first one that I got here. So alright, so here is the pinball cabinets. Now, I just had a video on this about the Star Wars one. So as you can see here, there is not the Star Wars one in the picture, but we have already seen pictures of those ones. You have the Asteroids Cabinet in the back. Not a big deal, because we already have seen that thing. That's been out for a little while now. I don't know if there's anything new on that. I'm not really sure. I don't think so. But in the middle here, you can see we have a universal pinball machine, and that thing is looking sweet. These things look awesome, especially to the right. You get a look at one of these, and a way better look. And man, that thing just looks absolutely awesome. You know, I'm not sure what the one is in the very front. I heard, you know, people say that it looked like Mars Attack. I'm not super familiar with that cabinet, but it looks awesome. I gotta say, that definitely looks awesome. I like the metal trim on here. Now, I think that was key, and I really like how they did that. I like how they put the metal trim on there. I think it definitely needed to be there, and hopefully they don't change any of the materials before they wind up putting these things out on the mass market, because any of this stuff still could change until we get a retail version. But these are probably going to be very close to what is actually going to be released. But, you know, they did come out and say, John D did, on the Retro Buzz podcast, how they were going to be putting, you know, a metal finish or whatever. And he did, you know, he did answer a few questions. It was cool that he came out. But, man, I bet they are pissed now, because, you know, their surprise really got messed up. I feel bad for them in a way, but damn, I mean, it's cool to see this stuff. I cannot wait for them to officially announce this, and, you know, just to 100% that this is all the stuff that's coming. Get games list of what's going to come on these different cabinets. You know, I'm just wondering where I'm going to put all this stuff, because I don't want to have these cabinets really sitting side by side, because the artwork on them is so cool, and I love having the officially licensed products. They just look awesome. So it kind of defeats the purpose when you have them like crunched together. And I understand that that's what they did in the arcade, but they did that because they needed the space and they wanted to get as many machines on the floor, because then they're maximizing their profits. Well, if you're just, you know, have this for yourself and just a game on, I mean, you don't want to hide your artwork. It looks awesome, especially too, you're paying for this stuff. Now, why not be able to look at it? But super cool, man. This stuff is real flashy looking. I really like the pinball. Totally digging it. You know, what are you guys thinking about these pinball, you know, virtual pinball machines? They look sick. I absolutely love pinball, and I do really like virtual pinball. Now, the Star Wars one, I really do like the Star Wars tables that Zen Pinballs makes, because I do have the game on the Nintendo Switch, and I absolutely love it. I think they did a great job on the look of the tables, and just, they're fun to play. That's an addictive game, and I can't even imagine having one of these in my house and just being able to just go and keep playing and trying to beat my high score, because pinball is super addictive. I always hate when I don't have a lot of quarters and stuff to play, because I'll just sit there and play for hours. I mean, it's crazy. But let's jump on to the other picture, the last one here. And this is the Star Wars sit-down cabinet. Man, I'll tell you what, wow, this is cool as hell. Now, you know, in a way I can see if people that already have this cabinet could be a little bit pissed, but before I think they get real pissed off, it does look like you could probably just take your stand-up cabinet, take it off, sit it on the floor, like, you know, if you didn't have the riser, just sit the riser off to the side or whatever, and it looks like you can actually get this other piece as a, like, buying it just like a riser. I don't know if they would charge more for it or what. It is a little bit bigger. It looks like it kind of slopes into the cabinet. Now, I can't imagine that they would make you pay like for a whole new cabinet and everything. This looks to be like an add-on, like something that you could actually, you know, buy separately or get as a bundle. Now, I think that is definitely the way they need to be doing this, and I can't imagine them doing it any other way, because they would probably really piss people off that already paid $400 and $500 for the Star Wars cabinet, because the cabinet is really cool. But I mean, they're vector games, so I mean, they're not super long, and you know, there's 3 games on there, so you know, and some people might prefer to sit down and play a game like that, because games like that can make people dizzy and stuff just from the 3-dimensional style movement. So some people might prefer to sit down. Some people might be older that just were a fan of Star Wars when they were young and played this arcade cabinet a lot, so they could be in their late 50s or even 60s and just, you know, have bad backs, bad legs, you know, stuff like that. But this is a good idea for those people, or just anybody that just doesn't feel like standing anymore. Maybe you just want to actually just sit down because maybe you're gaming for a long time and you want to try to get through the game, beat your high score, stuff like that, you know, because you can change the difficulty on this thing. You can put it to the arcade difficulty and stuff and play it how it's meant to be played. So that's absolutely awesome. And you can see right to the left of it is the NBA Jam cabinet. Now, I don't know if you can get a real good, you can't really get a great look, but I'll zoom out and you can kind of see it there. It definitely, you can tell it has a light up marquee, that's for sure. It looks like they have a Pac-Man stool sitting next to it, but that thing looks absolutely awesome. You know, just the colors pop on stuff like that. But, you know, definitely unique. I know a lot of people wanted that cabinet, so that's definitely a good thing. Now, it looks like, it's hard to tell, but this looks to be the Golden Tee cabinet that's already out. It looks like the one that came out alongside of the Star Wars. I wonder if they're just bringing these, a whole bunch of them there for people to play as well, to play the ones that were already released, or for, like, you know, special people at this thing to be able to check some of the new ones out, because they're not going to be playable for the public, like the new ones there, like the the pinball anyway. They're not going to be playable. Supposedly they're not going to be playable to the public. So, you know, I could see people, VIPs or whatever, behind the scenes getting a chance to check that stuff out. But yeah, really cool. Arcade 1-Up, they're really stepping it up. Like I said, now, you know, we have the Star Wars with the flight yoke with a sit down, which I think is awesome. That gives me hope for, say, Star Wars trilogy. That's what I would love to see. And the light gun games, I am super excited that they have one now. Even if it's Buck Hunter, I don't even care. Buck Hunter is a cool game, and there's a reason it's in a lot of bars. But yeah, Buck Hunter and Golden Tee are in a ton of bars, especially by me. But yeah, Buck Hunter, great game, a light gun game, the first, hopefully, of many. But now I can see different things happening, you know, different styles, like John D talked about on Retro Buzz podcast about, you know, they were looking into light gun games, driving games, you know, sit down games, just different styles of cabinets. That way they could appeal to a different, you know, mass market. But they're definitely starting to step it up, and they're doing some good things. So it's good to see. These things look awesome, and I'm going to be broke. But what do you guys think? Are you guys excited for these new cabinets and for the pinball machines? Or what about that sit-down Star Wars cabinet? What do you think about that? And what do you think about the possibility of getting a arcade trilogy sit-down cabinet, which is something that I would love to see? But let me know in the comments, guys, and subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. Like I said, I try to put content out like this on a steady basis. But, you know, if you guys enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up. But that's it. I'm the War Train, and I'm out. Have a good one, guys.